reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I'm going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4. We believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5. We believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6. We believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7. We believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8. We believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9. We believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the Black communities of America and the world. Number 10. We believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11. We believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12. We believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the Black community of weapons, break up the Black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young Black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quasad Oxen, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Oh, hello, there I am. Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Sister Ebony Stevenson, and I am going to be your speaker today. Give me 1 second. All right, I am back. Thank you so much. Oh, welcome to the Tobin Nations weekly Sunday worship service here in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois. Come and be fed by God's messengers. I am your lecturer for today, Sister Ebony Stevenson. We are located at 616 East 71st Street. We invite you to join us each and every Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30. We are an all-inclusive, Black conscious, righteous movement dedicated to the upliftment of Black people here in urban America. So if this is something that you or your family are looking for, you can always join us in person. And then if you are watching live on YouTube or Facebook, definitely feel free to drop us a comment. If you ever have any questions about any of our previous lectures or things that we're saying, if you would like previous videos, you can always shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. Today, my topic is Black American heritage. I wanted to be specific and add the American part of that when we talk about Black heritage is because, during Black History Month, I've seen a lot of Black history presentations or Black history posts or videos on social media. And we have to talk about how, yes, Black Americans are a part of the African diaspora, but Black American heritage is completely different from the diaspora as a whole. And so when we talk about our heritage here in America, we have to focus on Black Americans because that is who Black History Month was founded for. And the reason why I'm calling it Black heritage is because I got this from our leader, teacher, and founder, Minister Raheem. See, well, usually during Black History Month, you hear about the old but goodies. You hear about the Martin Luther Kings, the Rosa Parks. You may, depending on what school you go to or what circle you're a part of, you may hear about, a Malcolm X or some of our other leaders. But we always talk about, the same people over and over again. And a lot of us don't know the extent of the Black heritage that we have here in America. And so that is what I'm going to focus on today, but also acknowledging the fact that because as Black people, we are the original people on this planet and we came with this planet. And so we know Black heritage goes beyond America. Black heritage goes beyond the African diaspora. Black heritage goes to the origination of this planet and who we are as an original people. And so I'm going to start out in 1 second. And so as we observe Black History Month and we celebrate Black heritage, we must talk about the role of unity and economic empowerment in ensuring the survival and prosperity of us Black Americans. Our journey has been marked by resilience, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to justice. And we know this. Anytime something is going on in this country, everybody wants to know, what do the Black people think about it? Like if it's immigration, what do the Black people think about it? If it's the economy, what do the Black people think about it? If it's the struggle of the Palestinians and the war in Gaza, what do the Black people think about it? If it was the Ukrainian war, what do the Black people think about it? Everybody across the globe always wants to know, what do Black Americans think about anything going on in the world? And based off of what our response is, then people move a certain way. And that goes to the weight that Black Americans have, even though we're the most hated people on this planet. And so when we talk about, how Black Americans continue to face systemic challenges that require collective action from all of us and unity and strategic initiatives, I'm going to talk about the historical context of the struggles of Black Americans and the economic impact on systemic exploitation and the transformative power of unity and economic self-determination. That's our word, self-determination, right? To understand our present, we must first reflect on our past. The history of Black Americans is deeply intertwined with the systemic exploitation, beginning with the harrowing era of chattel slavery. Enslaved Africans were forcibly brought to this land, their labor forming the backbone of America's burgeoning economy. And so when we say these things about America and we talk about the American economy and we talk about the American political climate, there will be no America without Black Americans. The wealth amassed from industries such as cotton and tobacco was built upon the relentless toil and suffering and exploitation of the ancestors of Black Americans. In the 17th and 18th centuries, hold on, I got ahead of myself. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the American colonies' agrarian economy heavily depended on the slave labor of enslaved Africans. These individuals were forced to cultivate cash crops such as tobacco, rice, sugar, and most notably what? Cotton. By the mid-19th century, cotton had become the linchpin of the U.S. economy, with this production soaring due to the relentless toil of enslaved Black individuals. The Cotton Kingdom not only supplied the raw material for burgeoning textile industries, but also positioned the United States as a dominant player in the global market. The raw materials produced through slave labor did not merely bolster the Southern economy. They were integral to the industrial expansion of the Northern states. Northern textile mills thrived on the steady supply of Southern cotton, creating an economic interdependence that spurred national growth. This synergy between the agrarian South and the industrial North laid the groundwork for the United States' emergence as an economic powerhouse. Now, when we talk about this, we talk about the connection between slaves and the stock market in the U.S., and we talk about the generational wealth that was made off of the backs of enslaved people. Like, that is the legacy of America. And so when we talk about this concept of making America great again, or what it means to be American, we have to acknowledge that there will be no America without Black Americans. And when we talk about how America is so focused on profit, and profit, America doesn't care what we sell. It doesn't care if it sold our ancestors. It doesn't care if it sells our children to the prison industrial complex. It's all about profit. And that's why we have to understand when we're talking about the legacy of America. So continuing on, now when we talk about, talking about history, it can get you in your feelings. Like when you really talk about not only what our ancestors went through in this country, but when you talk about what we go through in this country. And so I'm going to continue on talking about post-emancipation economic contributions. So a lot of us know what the Great Migration is. Between 1916 and 1970, approximately 6 million Black Americans relocated from the rural South to urban centers in the North and West in a movement known as the Great Migration. Now, this monumental demographic shift not only reshaped the cultural and social landscapes of cities like Chicago, Detroit, and New York, but also invigorated their economies. Once again, economics. You have a bunch of Black people leaving the South, moving to the North, and that created what? A new labor force. Those Black migrants supply essential labor to various industries, contributing to urban development and economic diversification. And because of that, we can talk about so many areas where Black Americans had such an impact. And so when you look at that piece around the Great Migration and so many Black workers working in the steel mills, working in the auto plants, and contributing to the labor and the economic advancement of this country, it created another segment where those Black workers were also at the forefront of labor movements and fighting for economic advocacy for all Americans. Black Americans fought for labor rights and economic justice, helped form labor unions, and participated in significant strikes, fought for fair wages and reasonable working hours, and improved working conditions. And it's because of us and our relentless pursuit of economic equity that has not only benefited Black communities, but has also led to broader labor reforms that uplifted the American workforce as a whole. All nationalities, all ethnicities have benefited from the contributions of Black people to the labor movement. And so as we continue to talk about, and all of these things, some people may know this, some people may not, but we have to have these conversations when we're talking about, the impact that Black people have had. And when we talk about creating Black heritage isn't just something that happened in the past, it's something that happens every day. So I'm going to continue, even though I know that I'm not going to finish. If you would like a part 2 of this, and you would like the remaining part of this lecture, drop us a comment on Facebook or YouTube. And then maybe I'll go live on Wednesday at 8:00 if you would like to hear a part 2. And so moving along, talking about the contributions of Black Americans, we can talk about historical inventors and entrepreneurs. We know that Black entrepreneurship has a rich history in America. And when you look at how so many entrepreneurs have overcome systemic barriers and established successful enterprises, when you look at people like Madam C.J. Walker, who built an entire beauty empire, when you look at S.B. Fuller, right here in Chicago, was the richest man in Black America during that time. And what he was able to do as far as uplifting Black people, and the hate that he got for being a Black business owner, we have to look at that is the legacy of America, right? It doesn't matter if we become multimillionaires. It doesn't matter if we become billionaires. America still doesn't want us to be successful because America still treats us how it did when we first came to these borders. And so as we continue to talk about Black heritage and historical entrepreneurs, we can also bring it up to 2025 and talk about modern business leaders. Black entrepreneurs continue to make significant impacts across various industries. Individuals like Robert F. Smith, founder of Vista Equity Partners, has achieved remarkable success in finance, while innovators like Ursula Burns, former CEO of Xerox, have broken barriers in corporate leadership. These achievements underscore the importance of representation and the contributions of Black Americans to the nation's economic vitality. Now, when you talk about the nation's economic vitality, I did a previous lecture and I talked about how much money that Black businesses contribute to the American economy. We can also talk about Black spending power, that the purchasing power of Black Americans is a formidable force in the U.S. economy. And with expenditures spanning various sectors, Black consumers influence market trends and drive demand of diverse products and services. We know this. You can look on TikTok, you can look on Instagram, you can look on YouTube, and Black influencers, Black consumers are driving market trends, whether it's music, whether it's fashion, whether it's sports, even whether it's tech. There's so many different industries that Black influencers and Black consumers are driving. And, companies recognize this, not just companies here in the United States, but global companies recognize this, and they tailor their offerings to meet the preference of Black consumers, acknowledging their critical role in the economic landscape. And so there is so many different contributions that Black Americans have brought to America. I can do a whole lecture on Black inventions, and it's something that, not a lot of people talk about. I just wanted to go and mention some Black inventions that you may not have heard before. And so when you look at such a diverse group of people, I want to start with tech. And so when we talk about my continuing theme, making Black heritage. How many of these inventors do you know? We have Dr. Mark E. Dean. He's an American computer scientist and engineer. He is often one of the first names people think of when it comes to notable Black inventors. Dr. Dean is credited with the development of the industry standard architecture system bus, the color PC monitor, and the first ever gigahertz chip. Now, how many people knew that? He spent most of his career as a leader at IBM and currently holds 3 of the company's original 9 patents for the PC. How many did you know that? What about Lisa Golopter? She's a technologist and computer science and entrepreneur. She had an integral role in the creation of internet technologies that many online streaming and gaming platforms rely on today, including the animation tools that made GIFs possible. Did you ever hear of that inventor? What about John Henry Thompson? He was the mind behind Lego programming, a scripting language designed to render visuals within computer programs. And that led to video games, animation, web design, and graphic systems. He's also credited for his role in the development of VideoWorks Accelerator, VideoWorks 2, and Media Maker. And so when we talk about, I said, during Black History Month, we tend to focus on the same old, but I just gave you 3 that you probably didn't know about. What about Louis H. Latimer? He was an inventor and patent draftsman and was ahead of his time. He was born in September 1848, and he was the son of fugitive slaves, and he never went to school, yet he rose to become one of the most recognized Black inventors of the 19th century. We're not even going to talk about how he contributed to developing the light bulb and that whole thing. But he also worked on the early telephone with Alexander Graham Bell, and drawing from his expertise in both electrical engineering and drafting for patent applications, Latimer produced detailed sketches of Bell's telephone that were used to secure the patent. His contribution to the industry of technology is highly celebrated and continues to be an inspiring example of what one can achieve with hard work and determination. What about Dr. Shirley Jackson? She was born in 1946 in Washington, D.C., and she was a physicist and was the former head of the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission. She is one of the first African-American women to earn a PhD in physics from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. Her research contributed significantly to telecommunications, specifically the creation of touch-tone phones, fiber optic cables, call waiting, and the caller ID. Kenneth J. Dunkley is another person you should know. He was born in New York, and he's a leader in holography, and he's most well known for his invention of 3D viewing glasses in 1986. He created 3D viewing glasses in 1986. His patent design was used an array of lenses to create realistic 3D images and depth perception, which is the basis for modern day 3D glasses we use in movie theaters. What about Janet E. Bastion? She was born February 12th in 1957 in Ohio. Now, she started her career with degrees from University of Houston and Rice University, Jesse H. Jones Graduate School of Administration. Now, her web-based application, Linkline, made her the first ever African-American to hold a patent for software invention. The program was designed to automate the employee complaint process, which has since been implemented by government agencies and corporations nationwide. I'm going to give you a couple more. Otis Boykin was born in 1920. He was responsible for over 25 inventions, many of which solved problems with guidance systems and electrical components for companies such as IBM, Philips, and Motorola. His most famous design was the Wyeth's Precision Resistor, a device used in almost every modern electronic item, from television sets to radios and computers. He also developed an improved version of the pacemaker. How many of you did you know that? And then I'm going to give you 2 more. Now, this one some of you should know, and those of you in Chicago should know because there's a school named after him. Benjamin Banneker was an African-American scientist and mathematician who lived from 1731 to 1806. He is well known for his almanacs, which contain astronomical and agricultural information, as well as tide tables and essays on various topics. He is said to have been a self-taught genius, having calculated the 1789 solar eclipse by hand. He is also credited with helping to survey the future site of Washington, D.C., as well as developing one of the first mechanical clocks made in America. His writing and research on topics such as race relations earned him recognition from Thomas Jefferson and other prominent figures of the time. And then I will go lastly with Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan was born in 1877 and rose to become one of the most famous African-American inventors of all time. He created a number of groundbreaking inventions that are still in use today, including an early version of the gas mask and the zigzag attachment for manual sewing machines. He was hailing from Paris, Kentucky. He is most well known for what is something that we see every day on the street when we go outside, that's red, yellow, and green, and tells us whether we can go, stop, or yield. He invented the 3-position traffic signal in 1923. And that device, which was first used in Cleveland, Ohio, is the prototype for the modern day traffic lights. Now, I hope that those 10 inventors that I gave you when we're talking about Black history and Black heritage, that you can go look those people up and share that, with your family, so that when we talk about, our history in America, we don't just have to focus on slavery. We don't have to focus on just civil rights. We can add, what did we bring to this economy? What did we bring to America that not only other Americans benefited from, but people across the globe benefited from? And so I shared those 10 inventors in tech because I feel like not a lot of people cover the contributions that Black Americans have made to the tech industry. And so I'm going to continue on. I hope that was very informative for you. And so back to my original conversation about, if there wasn't Black Americans, there would be no America. We have made so many contributions, to American society, whether it's through music, whether it's through technology, whether it's through science, or any of the other industries. But when we talk about, what happened during the past, we can bring it up to 2025. And so I'm going to mention this piece because if I talk about, Black heritage and what's going on with Black Americans right now in America, I couldn't discuss that without talking about the prison industrial complex. And so in my earlier part of my lecture, I mentioned the systemic exploitation of Black Americans, and it continues to this day in the prison industrial complex. The United States has witnessed a dramatic increase in incarceration rates, disproportionately affecting Black communities. This surge is not merely a reflection of crime rates, but is indicative of systemic biases, embedded with the criminal justice system, or as Minister Rahim says, the just us system. Incarcerated individuals, the majority of whom are Black, are often compelled to perform labor for minimal compensation. This modern-day servitude benefits various industries and contributes significantly to the economy. Nationally, incarcerated workers produce goods and services worth billions annually. And so when we talk about our contribution to not just the founding of America, but we talk about our contribution to the economic vitality of America, it still happens today through this modern day servitude, this modern day slavery. And the system not only exploits individuals, but it also undermines the economic stability of Black communities by removing potential wage owners or entrepreneurs and perpetuating cycles of poverty. The economic development of the United States is deeply entwined with the labor and contributions of Black Americans. From the era of slavery to contemporary times, Black individuals have been central to the nation's economic engine. Now, that is really heavy when you think about the contributions to the United States economy that our people are making, even when they're incarcerated. That is something that we don't talk about enough. And so many corporations use prison labor. I remember Victoria's Secret used prison labor. Like companies were using prison labor for customer service. And not only do these government entities and these corporations that own these prisons, not only do they benefit off the incarceration of that Black body, but they also benefit off the labor of that Black body. When I say they benefit off the incarceration of that Black body, they get paid to house that Black body. And not only do they get paid to house that Black body, but they get paid from the labor of that Black body, from that Black life, from that Black individual. And it contributes continually to the gross domestic product of the United States. It's actually very sickening when you think about it that way. And so when we continue to talk about the economic impact, we talk about historical entrepreneurs, we talk about modern business leaders, we talked about the consumer power in this country for Black Americans. And so I'm going to close with this. And like I said, if you would like a part 2 of this lecture, feel free to drop us a comment in the chat. Make us a comment on YouTube or Facebook, and maybe I'll drop a version 2. And so when we talk about the power of economic unity, right? Because the theme of this has been Black heritage and economics. And so in the face of these challenges, unity and economic empowerment have always been tools for survival and progress. Now, we know that today, the significance of supporting and sustaining Black businesses cannot be overstated. Just as it was back then, we know the impact of the Black Wall Streets across this country, the impact that they had for economic liberation for those Black towns and for those Black individuals, and how once again Caucasians doing the Caucasian, they couldn't let us live in peace. And so they had to come and destroy what we built. But to let them tell it, we haven't contributed anything to America or the American economy. And so we always talk about, if you're not new to TOMA, we talk about Buy Black, we talk about Dr. Webb Evans, we talked about the United Black American Progress Association and what it truly means for us to fight for Black economic liberation and getting off the economic bottom in this country. And Black businesses are more than just enterprises. They are catalysts for economic empowerment, cultural preservation, and community resilience. By supporting these businesses, we are not only helping to close the racial wealth gap, but also contributing to a more vibrant and inclusive economy that benefits everyone. I have a question for you. Take a minute and think about it. Is February 16th. It is 1:17 p.m. Central Time. Can you name 10 Black businesses that you have supported this month? Can you name 10 Black businesses that you have spent your hard-earned dollars with this month? And so if you cannot name 0, then you need to stop being part of the problem and become part of the solution. As Black people, we must support our own. We must support Black businesses. There is no other race of people that has to be told to invest in their own and support their own but Black people. And that's by design due to what we have experienced in America. And that can be a whole nother lecture within itself. And so rebuilding and investing in our communities is so important when we talk about getting off the economic bottom. When we talk about rebuilding our communities and intentional investment and collective effort, we can look at people like Fannie Lou Hamer and the contributions that she made to agricultural cooperatives. Like there's so much history and there's so many contemporaries who are doing this here. We have the Black Mall here at Cassiopeia in Chicago. There's so many people who are doing things to uplift Black people. And so our path forward is clear. Unity and economic empowerment are indispensable for the survival and prosperity of Black Americans. This entails what I just said, supporting Black-owned businesses. By consciously choosing to patronize Black-owned establishments, we circulate our wealth within our communities, fostering economic growth and stability, investing in education and skill development, equipping ourselves and future generations with the necessary skills and knowledge ensures competitiveness and opens doors to new opportunities. We can talk about advocating for policy changes. In the current climate that we're in, we got to continue to fight for those meaningful reforms in areas such as criminal justice, housing, and education. Building and sustaining cooperative enterprises. Collaborative economic models like cooperatives can provide shared benefits and strengthen community ties. In conclusion, our history is a testament to the resilience and the power of unity. By coming together, supporting one another, and investing in our collective future, we can overcome systemic challenges and pave the way for more equitable and prosperous society for us and others. Let us honor the legacy of our ancestors by forging a path defined by solidarity, empowerment, and an unwavering commitment to justice. That is all that I have for you. I hope that you have enjoyed my lecture. Like I said, if you're watching live or if you're watching a replay and you would like a version 2 of this lecture, feel free to drop us a comment on Facebook or YouTube, or you can shoot us a text at 773-846-3091. You can always join us each and every Sunday here at the Toma Nation, and we are located at 616 East 71st Street in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois. Black Power, brothers and sisters.
Joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!